Hello there, and welcome to Wake Up and Live with the Arts. I'm Sue Johnson, and I am thrilled to be here with 3 of the 4 videographers and filmmakers we're going to meet this evening. And we are certainly fascinated by their stories because they are very, they're very young, upcoming men on the Cleveland scene. So let me introduce them to you. TMK, Tim, Mark, Kyle. What's your whole name?
Timothy Young.
What's yours?
Mark Moore.
Kyle Cartons.
And we accidentally ended up with these 2 guys when Kyle was telling us about Mark being the videographer and Kyle was the actor.
Yes.
In a cute little video that Terrence Spivey, the artistic director, did, about last month or so, about 6 weeks or so, promoting Chad Deity, a play that they just did, the past few weeks. So we want to welcome you 3 guys. How did you get interested in filmmaking? What happened there?
Oh, I think we all have our own individual stories.
Yes, of course.
Mine came from just having a love for the arts, having a love for theater, everything. So decided this is what I want to do. This is my passion, and just wanted to hop into it.
Okay. And what caused this to be your passion? When did you get into the arts? As a kid?
Very young. My mother is to thank for that, taking me. I remember my first play was Alvin Ailey. She took me there,
yes,
and
dancing,
I loved it ever since then. Every play I can go to, anything dealing with the arts, I was there.
What's one of your favorite recent plays, or one of the plays you remember that just drove you crazy?
Phantom of the Opera.
That was my first and favorite until The Lion King came on. And when that came out, Phantom moved to second place.
They're kind of neck and neck.
Yeah.
I can sit here and debate you about that.
Well, as the host of the show, I'm going to just say The Lion King.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh man, don't get me started on that whatsoever. And Mark, darling, you're an actor as well as the filmmaker. You're an actor too.
Correct.
Okay,
yes,
good.
Yes.
So anyway, Mark, how did you get involved in filmmaking?
Well, I started filmmaking just about 3 years ago. I went to Baldwin Wallace College. I was a theater and broadcasting major. So my broadcasting class, we did a lot of film work, and I did my first silent film it was a group project. And I really liked being behind the camera. It was the first time I actually got to step behind and see how everything is put together. And then I met up with these guys one summer, and we created our own YouTube channel. So it's been filmed since then.
Kyle, we'll come back to you, but in the meantime, tell us about, you guys have YouTube channels. Is it one with all of you? Or each of you has a separate channel?
It's one big mega channel.
Yeah.
Okay, well tell
like
us
that.
all about that, because I'm in a learning mode, as you can tell, tonight, based on the interchange we're having with our videographer, Lester H. Brown. Lord have mercy, no I didn't. No I didn't.
Well,
We gotta keep rolling. Wait a minute.
I'll let Mark go ahead and introduce the channel name.
Yes, please do.
Okay. Well, our YouTube channel is GKBD TV. GKBD TV stands for Ghetto Kids Big Dreams because.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. At the end of the day, we're just some ghetto kids with big dreams.
And they're already in the process of coming true.
Right. Yeah. We've been doing a lot of work lately, but we started off with me and him. Me and Tim went to school together. We went to high school together. So he's always asked me, like, let's start a YouTube channel. I was never really serious about it, but one day I was walking up on Coventry and I saw a camera for $75. And just so happened I had $75 in my pocket, and I was like, I'm gonna buy it. It's a sign. I need to buy it.
Pretty exact.
And right. And so I called him up the next day, and we released our first video. It was 10 Most Annoying Friends. And then ever since then, we've been putting out a video a week. And we just took a break because we did our first season. So now we're getting ready to start on our second season.
I was sort of recruited onto the GKBD TV team because Mark and I had performed together in 2008. In a Caramel production of Holes, actually.
Oh, Holes, okay.
It's the Lewis Sacker book. And we just kept in touch through social media, and they sort of brought me on and wanted to use
this guy has a grant. I mean, we had to get him on.
Oh, yes, because he's coming on up as an actor. In fact, he is to receive an honor at our special Hall of Fame celebration. June 14th is the gala itself. And Kyle will be one of the honorees, and he's being honored as Karamu's rising star because he, because he is going to be inducted based on his resume, his local arts work in theater and film. In fact, he already has an IMBD page. And for those of you in film, you'll know what that means, that all of his filmography, is like we say biography for the words, and filmography just lists all of his television and film credits. You got a whole bunch already.
Yeah, just trying to stay busy. I don't ever want to stop. I want to continue to grow.
Between the two at the moment, between filmmaking and acting, do you have a favorite so far, or are they all running neck and neck?
Neck and neck.
Definitely neck and neck.
I've been acting since I was 9. I started at Rainey Institute. And
I work with them too.
Yeah. I love
small world.
Yeah, right when they were on 55th and Superior in the old house.
Yeah.
So I used to do plays there. I did my first play there actually. And then I started doing things here for Karamu. But so I like making my own things because I can put myself in it. You know, I can always have a role because at the end of the day, if I write it, I can play it. So
Yeah, you got that right.
I like doing both of them.
Okay, and now you all are involved in, I'm going to say this right if it kills me, instead of saying Lester H. Brown instead of Lester H. Bryant. Tell me a little bit about Voodoo Macbeth that you are rehearsing for over at, you are rehearsing,
Yes,
right?
we are.
Over
Yeah.
at Ensemble
First
Theater,
yesterday.
where Celeste, I almost call her Celeste.
Celeste Constantino.
I don't know why my mouth will not work right tonight.
It's all right.
Anyway, Celeste Cosentino is the artistic director over at Ensemble Theater, and she's directing this piece, Voodoo Macbeth, which is a takeoff on Shakespeare, okay?
Yes, it is.
So Kyle, tell us a little bit about Voodoo Macbeth.
Well, it's co-directed by Celeste Cosentino and Tyson Rand from the Cleveland Shakespeare Festival. We just started rehearsals yesterday, so it takes the Shakespeare story written by William Shakespeare, but Orson Welles, this is the Orson Welles version, and he sort of cut through all of the beautiful language and poetry of Shakespeare and just really got to the meat of the story. And it starts right at the tower when they're plotting to kill Duncan, and it takes it all the way into the end to the final epic climactic battle. So it pushes it all into about an hour, 45-hour, 50-minute show, and it's nonstop action. It just keeps rolling back and forth, and it goes up May 23rd to June 8th at the Ensemble Theater. The address is 2843 Washington Boulevard in the Cleveland Heights area.
And the phone number to the theater itself is 216-2930. So you can call the Ensemble Theater at 216-2930 for ticket information, et cetera, et cetera.
I play the role of Macduff, by the way.
You took my question away. Give it back. Give it back.
Go ahead, take it.
Tell the audience a little bit about Macduff. Who is he and what's he do in the play?
Yes, I play Macduff. Macduff is he's an arch nemesis, so to speak, of Macbeth after Macbeth attains this big ego, thinking that he can't be tamed or killed by anyone born of woman, and he's right. So Macduff, is very loyal to Duncan and to the kingdom's, I guess the way things are done. So when Macbeth tries to come in and disrupt the New World Order by throwing some of his own tricks into it, I'm here to try to keep things the way they are and try to keep things right and protect my family. My family is most important, and I don't want to give it all away, so I'll let you guys come see what happens between Macduff and the show.
I'm going to ask you guys, I'm going to put you on the spot for just a second because I don't want you to give the show away, but I'm going to ask each of you about your roles, and then afterwards I would love it if you could give me just one line of your character, one sentence, one line, something like that, okay? So there, Mark, what character are you playing?
I play the character Lennox. Lennox is a nobleman who stands by Macbeth because he's an honest person at the end of the day. But if you read Shakespeare's version, you notice that he's the first person to really believe that Macbeth was the one who turned against Duncan and assassinated him. So he has this huge speech in Act 3, which they cut out in Voodoo Macbeth. But but he's a great guy. He stands by what's right at the end of the day. He stands by Macbeth while he knows he's an honest man, but once he realizes that he's not an honest person, he sides with whoever is appropriate to be the King of Scotland.
Yes, because he wants to be on the winning side.
I don't think it's about winning. I think it's just about his morality inside.
Oh, because there's so little of it in that play.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Especially from Lady Macbeth, who has these ambitions for her husband. Yes. Okay. And what role do you play?
I play a murderer.
Which one without a name or one with a name?
Just murderer.
Murderer.
I'm so devious. No, but play a murderer. Basically, my role in the play is to, once Macbeth gets to this higher type of status, and he hires me and another murderer to kill someone. I'm not gonna say who it is,
right?
But to kill someone because he's kind of, it can be interpreted as he thinks he's too good to kill anymore, or he just has kind of a heart. Lady Macbeth,
a murderer with a heart.
A murderer with a heart. They do exist.
Yes.
But so he hires me as the muscle,
Okay.
So.
And all right, now, like I said, I was going to put you on the spot, or I am, so that I can get just one sample, one line of something that you say in the play. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but with the great, the Shakespearean language that you've learned.
I have no words. I thought that was good to say. I have no words.
Yeah. Do you know a line from your character?
Yes. The night was unruly. As we lay, the chimneys fell down, and as it was said, lamentings were heard in the air. Strange screams of death, and the feet.
That's like 5 lines.
Strange screams of death, and as it was said, the earth was feverish and did shake.
Okay. What about you?
Okay. See, mine would be, I am one, my liege, whose vile blows and buffets of the world have so incensed that I am reckless to do what I spite to that world.
And you know what? I think that's wonderful. I did that on purpose because old English teachers never die. But our African American culture, it's a little difficult to get them to appreciate Shakespeare, number one, and number two, to learn the language of Shakespeare. They make it, well, a lot of people do until they get familiar with it. I shouldn't just say that's African American culture, but learning the language and the rhythm and the fact that it's not as hard once you learn how to figure out what a sentence is on the written page. Who was your coach or is your coach for the Shakespeare quality to your character?
I was introduced to the language of Shakespeare when I went to the Cleveland School of the Arts by Dr. Scott Miller and Nina Domain Glover. Nina Domain?
Yeah,
yes,
Glover.
They were the first people
Domingue,
who introduced me. Yes, they introduced me to Shakespeare a while ago. I'll say about in 2000, 2008, 2009, and I went on to compete in New York in the national. Well, it was the AXO competition. And so I won the complete Shakespeare works. So I was pretty familiar with the works of Shakespeare.
Hot dog, I love it. If we could get more of our culture to participate in Shakespearean plays or classic European plays and learn the language. How did you pick up your skills, which are excellent?
In high school, I competed in the Cleveland Shakespeare competition, but had to drop out due to illness. But in college, I was trained by Professor Adam Hefferman in classical Shakespeare.
Okay, and what is your story?
Google. No, I'm joking. No fear Shakespeare. Spark knows, but the directors, I would have to say, just because I'm so new to acting, these guys are kind of actually like my mentors, are kind of bringing me in, and just the directors have taken their time with me to make sure I know what I'm saying, you know.
Okay.
But
It
a lot
works.
of credit to Google.
Yeah.
I also want to give a quick saying. Jimmy Woody is playing the title character of the role of
Yes.
Macbeth.
Okay.
And Carly Germany is Lady Macbeth.
Okay, are these
Amazing.
the only 5 characters, or do they have?
Oh no, there's a huge
Yeah,
ensemble.
a
There's
huge ensemble.
20
Eric
plus.
Goff, Joseph
Yes.
Primes as Hackett, so it's a
Full-
all African American cast.
full abridged.
So I would say about 20 cast
20 plus.
Oh, that's a healthy cast.
Oh yeah,
Very.
oh, yeah, it's gonna
That's
be
a
great.
very healthy. Now, Kyle, let me ask you, since I think you have more experience as an actor than these two, but what would be your advice when it comes to encouraging not only our African American culture, but kids in general, about what to do with Shakespeare, how to develop your interest in it, your skills? What kind of insights or advice would you offer?
Well, just the Shakespeare itself, or just acting in general?
Let's do Shakespeare first.
Okay. When it comes to approaching Shakespeare, you just have to put yourself in that time period. If you go down south, they have a different drawl as they would in Ohio or in New York or in Chicago. There's a different time period. You understand how your grandparents might speak a little differently than the slang or the jargon that we use in our every day-to-day speech. So I would say just try and learn as much as you can about the speech. The No Fear Shakespeare books, as Tim mentioned, online, they put the modern text that we would understand in the normal book as opposed to the original language written by Shakespeare, so you can see what you're saying. And for me, when I read it like that and I read the modern text next to Shakespeare's words, it made all of his words that he was using to color these meanings and situations, and it just made the language that much more appreciated and that much more beautiful, because he was saying one thing, but he chose a completely off the wall way to say such a simple sentence, and that's what showed his genius. So I would say it's a really good thing to appreciate. I've heard once you can act Shakespeare, you can pretty much act anything because it's very, very complicated and difficult language. So I just say try it. I say try it.
You're absolutely right. If you can do Shakespeare, you can do anything. I forgot what I wanted to ask you based on what you were saying, but maybe it'll come back to me before I say thank you and goodbye. And then you were saying about acting in general,
Yes.
in terms of some insights.
I would say if you want to try acting in general, it's a beautiful thing, because for me, theater lives in our everyday life. I look at things so differently now. Even if I'm in a frustrating situation, and my mind, it takes time to react. I think about every possible scenario that can go down if I react to this situation in a negative way, in a positive way. I feel like my mind has been open, and it's therapeutic. It's anger management. It's a yoga. It's full body. You have to your body is your instrument. It's public speaking. You know, it's friendship. You have camaraderie with people that you form lifetime bonds with. I feel like theater is life. It's part of life, and I feel like everybody should take theater appreciation classes, because it would definitely culture you, and it will help you open up as a person, or you could affect someone's life in a way that you never thought possible. So it's definitely something you should try.
And I always say that theater and the arts are great ways to be involved in your own mental health therapy. If we had more arts in the world, there would be less psychiatrists, psychologists, neurologists, and licensed social workers. We would take away their work.
Right.
If we had theater and the arts and music and dance, for all I know, the audience can even hear some music in the background now where the Karamu actors are rehearsing downstairs. They have very good vents. So anyway, guys, we're going to begin to wrap this up. And Shakespeare, you gave some excellent insights. And one of the things about most of the Shakespearean plays, they're comedies or, the tragedies, the histories. But in terms of something like Macbeth and some of the others, Hamlet, those of you who resonate with today's world, and depending on your teacher, your director, they're still full of the same thing that you love to watch on TV: murder, incest, politics, and a whole lot of things that really he's dealing with in his lifetime.
everyday topics.
And now, and so when you want to promote the show, if you all love blood and guts and women trying to usurp power and weak men who don't know how to stand up to their wives and stuff, to come on out and see any Shakespeare play, not only for your enjoyment but your edification. Keep your eyes on these guys. Between being actors and filmmakers, they got a lot of talent among them. And I don't want you to go away, because James and I are going to talk to yet another filmmaker, Stefan J. Davis. Most of you know his work and him, and we're going to talk to him and Kyle together in just a minute. Don't go away. Thank you, guys.
Thank
it
you
was
very
my...
much.
If I could just say one more thing.
Sure.
If you all can just go over to YouTube and check out our YouTube channel, Ghetto Kids Big Dreams, youtube.com/GKBDTV.
And I'm
like,
gonna-
comment, subscribe.
Yes, and I'm going to ask you to write it on your release so that we can put it on the screen.
Okay.
So it'll be easy for folks, including me, to go to it and look at it and see what it's all about. Some wild and wacky guys. And I hope we get to work together again. So thank you again, guys.
Thank you so much.
And we'll see you soon.
See.
Don't go away.